So welcome everybody and good morning. Happy Monday. I'm delighted to be joined by my Secretary of Agency Human Services, Doug Racine, by my Commissioner of Labor, Annie Noonan, and her team here at Labor, by Tom Torty, President of the Lake Champlain Regional Chamber, Bill Driscoll from AIV, and others to celebrate the fact that we're going to push send today on paying down the final payment for the money we borrowed during the Great Recession for the Unemployment Insurance Fund. This is about jobs and job creation. And as you know, there's a reason why Vermont has right now, why we're competing for the third or fourth lowest unemployment rate in America. And it's because we're doing a lot of things right for our employers and for Vermonters. One of them is that when we went into the Great Recession and so many Americans were unemployed, many states found that their unemployment insurance reserves were inadequate to meet the demand as people tragically lost their jobs. You may recall that Vermont had to borrow $77.7 million to bolster our own UI funds, and many other states had to do the same thing. When you borrow against your UI fund, employers are required to pay $21 per worker for most of their employees on an annual basis in order to help cover the debt from the federal government. Today, we will pay off the final $54 million of debt, and we will no longer be borrowing from the federal government for our UI trust fund. This is great news. It's been a partnership between labor, between employers, between workers, and between common sense legislators who came together to come up with a solution to our unemployment fund challenges. So it's a great day for Vermont employers, it's a great day for Vermont workers, it's a great day for jobs. We expect, the best news is that we're paying off this $77 million worth of debt 2 years early, which will help us continue to reduce costs for Vermont employers and create more jobs in the future. I want to thank all those who worked so hard on this legislation that got us where we are today. As I mentioned, it really was a partnership between labor, Vermont employers, and Vermont employees. I want to turn it now over very briefly to Annie Noonan, who will tell you more about the send button that we're about to push to pay off our $54 million debt. Commissioner Noonan.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning, folks. So as the Governor said, this is an exciting day for us because we are moving this debt off our books. And as a result, we're helping the Vermont employer community and the worker community, and really are very pleased with the reforms that were adopted in 2010. They were initiated in an effort to make sure that we stayed on track and brought some money into the fund. In addition to that, the reforms that the Department of Labor have initiated are really all about re-employing Vermonters. We moved from a department thinking of the unemployment fund as an unemployment fund to a re-employment assistance program. So when people come on unemployment in the state of Vermont today, within the first very few weeks that they are on unemployment, we are meeting with them in our regional offices for 3 full hours to get them whatever help it is that they need. So they'll meet with our job counselors. We'll find out what it is that they are interested in doing, what their background is, potentially if they have any skill gap, we get them into training. And within the first 5 weeks, we have seen people on unemployment at least 3 times in very productive sessions, one-on-one with individual Vermonters. As a result of that, we think we've transformed into a much stronger re-employment program for the Department of Labor. And that's in conjunction with our unemployment division, our workforce development division, and our labor market information division, who have all joined hands to make sure that Vermonters know how to get back into the workforce. So today what I'd like to do is give the governor the honor of pressing the send button. This is actually live. The governor is now transferring $54.5 million back to the U.S. Department of Labor Employment Training Fund. Let me make sure he hits the right button. There you go.
Now what if I hit the wrong button?
Well, if he hits the wrong button, we don't know what's going to happen. That's
This one? Okay, are we ready? 54 million. Get ready, feds. Here it comes. It's stinking. It's counting. It is Vermont.
There it went.
I want to thank Representative Dave Sharp, who's here as well. And Dave was involved in the original negotiations for this UI compromise and was really a critical player and has been following it very closely. So thanks for your great work as well. I want to turn it over now to Tom Torty, President of Lake Champlain Chamber, who is also a critical voice, along with the Lake Champlain Chamber, in ensuring that we got this one right. Tom. Thank you.
I'll be very, very brief. I want to begin by thanking the Department of Labor for the work that they have done and continue to do, the work with employers to make Vermont a great state to do business, and for taking care of displaced workers, and they do a great job. I want to thank the legislature for their foresight in 2010 in helping us set up a system where we can get to where we are today so the governor can press send. And I also want to thank the administration and the legislature this year for resisting calls to actually increase employer payments to the UI fund. That would have been the wrong thing to do at the wrong time. So to the governor and the administration, to the legislature, to the Department of Labor, on behalf of Vermont employers, thank you very much. Now I'm going to turn it over to Bill Driscoll. Bill.
Thanks very much. My name is Bill Driscoll. I'm Vice President of Associated Industries of Vermont. I think it's fair to say that back in 2010, and Representative Sharp and myself and then Senator Shumlin and others were working on how to fix our unemployment insurance system, we never thought that we would be here today so soon. But thanks to the stronger recovery out of the recession than we had expected, with employers retaining and rehiring more workers than we had thought in 2010, we were able to keep our borrowing needs down and pay it off today, which will not only be a great note on the improved conditions for Vermont workers the last few years, it'll save employers federal tax penalties, and save the state, save the general fund millions of dollars as well. So it really is a story that everybody has benefited from. But even though this is today perhaps the first great milestone in our road to recovery in terms of making our UI system whole and sustainable going forward, obviously we have a long way to go still. We have a few years ahead of us probably before we have the fund back at a place where it can be sustained for the years to come. So this is a great step forward, but we need to be mindful of keeping the ultimate goal in mind and maintaining the road that we've set out down just a few years ago.
Thank you. Sure.
So I'm pleased to be here today. It's a great day, and it's a wonderful example of how in Vermont the legislature, the governor's office, the executive branch, business and labor can come together to do the right thing for the state of Vermont. This is a great step forward for our state, and I'm looking forward to a bright future.
Thanks, Dave. All right. So just to clarify, Bill Driscoll made a good point. As you probably know, we expect in 3 to 4 years to have big enough reserves, to put it in plain English, so that we will see our unemployment rates drop across the state. Not just the $21 per employee, but additional reductions that'll help us continue to grow jobs in Vermont. So now our goal is build up the reserves as quickly as we can, be cautious with them. I want to give a huge shout out to the folks that came in after I started from the Department of Labor, who've been under huge pressure in this recession to make sure that we get all this done, that we do it right. There's a lot of bureaucracy dealing with the Fed. So thank you, Department of Labor employees.